Hi, I'm Greg Stolze, and tonight we are playing the final session of a three-part Unknown Armies game called Bring Me the Head of the Comte de Saint-Germain. I've been asked to do a brief recap. We did this as a tournament-style thing, so there were 7 groups that played through the first session, which gave us 10 players for 2 sessions of the second session, and now that has boiled down to the 5 here tonight for the last session. So what happened in the first session was that a ragtag crew of occult weirdos was brought together to attempt to and asked to travel to Canada and burglarize a 600-pound stone head out of a museum. While casing the museum, all of them ran into an entirely separate group of weirdos who also seemed, to some extent or another, focused on the head. While they were planning out their various heists, the person who asked them to get the head actually called up to say, hey, could we maybe scrub this mission? Because I thought before that stealing the head, returning it to its mound in Ohio, and putting it back in place would restore vital mystic energies. And now I think maybe that'd be bad, that I was tricked. This was from Mara, their sort of instigator on this. And in the 7 first sessions, some people stole the thing just slick as could be, only to have it stolen from their hands, stolen from them by those self-same group of other weirdos. Some of them tried to steal it and failed, often with violent or terribly painful consequences. And at least one group decided, you know what, Mara's right. We don't have to steal this thing. It's fine where it is. So that was the confusing bundle of first sessions, which apparently you could all watch on YouTube with my burps and stammering all included at no extra charge to you, the customer. This led us to session 2, where all the players handed in their old character sheets and took on the roles of the characters from the opposition group. And I ran one group as, yeah, you guys didn't get the head. The head is in the hands of the original PCs. And that group was very cross with one another. And you guys were scheming to steal it back when you were set upon by weird entities. Oh, and I should rewind back that that session had sort of bookends with the original PCs. The opening bookend was an encounter with a very strange and confusing entity who claimed to be sort of the superintendent of the cosmos, and who said, yeah, if you can get the head back to the museum and sort of align it with me, I'll be able to get a little more insight into this job that I've had for 14 years, and the guy before me, the Comte de Saint-Germain, the immortal intermediary between humankind and the cosmos, he was doing it for millions of years, but got real tired and he's letting me do it now. But maybe wants the job back, so don't give the head to him. After that and told them, watch out for Joy. So then we go to the other team, whom I've always referred to as the Oppo. And the Oppo in one group is arguing because they didn't get the head. In another, they are celebrating because they did get the head. But in both cases, they were set upon by unnatural entities that were dressed in surgical scrubs, but were eyeless. And their face masks initially were blank, but as they got angrier and angrier, would have frowns drawn on them, and then finally snarling mouths full of sharp teeth These surgical teams are part of the lore of Unknown Armies. In some games, I think people were like, oh yeah, I've heard about them. They like come out of the woodwork to regulate weird magic items. They always seemed like a myth because it never seemed to me like the universe cleans up after itself, but here they are. So one group, these attacked them and destroyed the head, transforming it into a giant 3D representation of the Shell Oil logo. And in the other case, the head wasn't even there, and they instead set upon the paranormal devices owned by the opposition, specifically a evil possessed seeming toy called Fun Bun, a entity known variously as Gibbez or 618835 or the Love Annihilator, which Mara had captured in a yam, and Count Volpo's magic wolf skin. So that's the point we're at now. Oh, and then after that, we switch back to the original group of heisters who encountered a frightened young girl named Joy. And two of the heist crew found themselves one of them found her eyes pulled inexorably towards Joy's forearm, and another found found Joy's left calf somehow irresistibly fascinating. And what they discovered and what Joy explained to them is that the worst things that have ever happened to them in their lives are written on her skin, have been tattooed on her. In the case of Karen, it is that she had these are all in the character write-ups. These sort of foundational tragedies of their lives. Karen's is that there was a car accident where she'd just gotten her brakes done, but there was a manufacturing defect in the cable, and she wound up killing two people, one of whom was a baby in a baby carriage. The other character is Kim, a soldier who got in over his head in a firefight overseas, wound up shooting what turned out to be a civilian in the back and killing him, but not right away. And then himself getting shot in the back or catching some piece of shrapnel and having to go through agonizing physical therapy, ending with a drug addiction that then only yielded to Mara's paranormal cures. Mara herself has the word, and other characters in this final session all have in common. Every character sheet that I handed out had a section, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you? And it is going to turn out with these final 5. Spoilers, all of these are results of curses that were that were unwillingly tattooed on young Joy's body. She is the page on which their misfortunes have been written. So I think we're caught up now, right?
Sounds good.
So why don't you each introduce your characters, maybe talk a little bit about the tragedies.
Well, I'm Adam. I'm playing Karen Conte, who you can see in the background there. Karen is an adept, a Vestamancer, whose magical powers come from clothes, which are the sort of a putting on of identity. So by wearing articles of clothing, I claim identities, archetypes within the human consciousness, essentially, and am able to gain magical power from that. And I think, as you heard tell, Karen suffered terribly when she was, her failed brakes were the cause of the death of an infant. Wasn't her fault, but now Karen is so traumatized she doesn't even drive herself. Normally her daughter Clausine does. So that's where we are.
Hey y'all, my name is Bryant. Pronouns are he, him. I am playing Kim for this session, my third character during the course of the tournament, which is fairly awesome. I am playing the female version of Kim. Kim was a hacker for the Marine Corps. As Greg mentioned, the worst thing that ever happened to her was when she realized she shot a fairly innocent civilian in the heat of battle. And he didn't die right away. She had to watch him drag himself over the sand, leaving blood behind. And then immediately thereafter, took a shot in the back, shrapnel in the spine. Greg gave you the backstory. That's who she is, you know. She only sees one person in this group of person who she feels at all close to, and never thought she'd be so glad to be hanging out with Karen.
Hi, I'm Todd. I'm playing Mara, and I am kind of the picture of ambition gone wrong. I am a really skilled yerbera, like an herbalist, and I became very interested in the occult, and I didn't know when to quit digging. I didn't know when to quit going behind curtains, and eventually I found something I wasn't ready for, the love annihilator that Greg mentioned a moment ago, and it absolutely destroyed my marriage with one go. I was able to trap it, kept it on me, and so I'm coming at this with the angle of a bit of redemption, trying to undo some of the damage that I have brought out. So I try to help people like Kim with their addictions and whatnot. But yeah, I still got a little bit of pride that I got to deal with.
My name is Chris. He, him pronouns. I am going to be playing Kelly Grish, a suburban soccer mom come occult huntress. The worst thing that ever happened to Kelly was that her 8-year-old daughter brought home a stuffed toy named Fun Bun, which is a terrible, horrible occult monstrosity that resulted in her losing custody of her daughter, losing her partner, and losing about 6 inches of intestines. It was a bad time. Think Sarah Connors, but instead of doing push-ups, she started reading about Fortean phenomena.
All right, I'm Raymond Nagel, he, him, and I'm playing an amazing character named Dirk Mansteel. So Dirk is an iconic character, but wait, he's 2 iconic characters. He's a super macho, misogynistic jerk, and he's also a sniveling masochist. So that's his lifestyle. The worst thing that happened to him, of course, had to do with family. When he was 17, he said, I'm going to figure out who my real dad is. And then he went to his dad and said, Dad, you're not my real dad. Some other dad is. And then his dad's like, no. And then his dad went to his mom, and his mom was like, what? And then they argued, and then she left, and then she killed herself. So that's Dirk Mansteel. You're welcome.
But the good news is he's got Chirp to take care of him.
Listen, he's channeled all of that into something new.
All right, and so that's the position that we're at. And so, yeah, we've got Kim and Karen together with Joy. And we've got the other 3 together without Joy. So what I'm hoping for this session is actually just a lot of character work. We may not need to roll dice at all. We'll see how it plans out, or how it plays out. A lot of what I want to do is put hard questions to the players rather than to the dice. So let's start out. Oh, and let's figure out what the sort of circumstances are. I'm going to say, just for simplicity's sake, the head was destroyed. It is now a 600-pound Shell Oil logo.
Does Count Volpo still have a face?
Volpo's dead. Yeah, the surgical team got him.
Are Fun Buns inside still inside, or are they now outside?
I'm gonna leave that up to you. Did the surgical teams destroy Fun Bun as they did in your session, or did Fun Bun escape clean as it did in some other sessions?
No, I love the idea of a stuffed toy that has been ripped open, revealing far more viscera than could possibly fit in it.
Okay, so Fun Bun's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I think if we're going with Volpo, I didn't get him to the hospital in time. I'll play on the idea that the surgical team also destroyed the Love Annihilator.
Okay, so, all right, Gibbous is gone too.
Can I just say that I love that we're playing a game where all of the players are choosing to destroy any occult powers that they might be able to bring on the final adventure?
It's
I'm
a little
not
like
you people. I don't have weird shit.
it's a little like Call of Cthulhu. Powerful magic item into the fire it goes.
It's a decision I would have made. That yam man.
So what's happened with Closone? Has she just finally had enough of her mother's shit and abandoned me?
No, you guys are still. It's still the two groups. So
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you guys. What I'm probably gonna do is some individual stuff with the Oppo characters, and then think of a way or a reason that you might all get together, because you all are potentially heading for the Ohio Mound Museum and Historical Site. Even without the head, the original heisters are like, oh, they're probably taking it there. Mara practically said as much. And the others are probably like, oh, well, we might be able to figure out maybe if we take it there, we can fix it.
I mean,
So-
my vote is still to take a rock saw to it.
Well, someone beat you to that, only it was a scalpel shaped like the profile of classic movie star Ingrid Bergman. So,
So in this continuity, Karen and Kim's team had never had the head. We never recovered it. And in fact,
you stole the head, but the others jacked it from you.
got it. All
Yeah.
right.
Probably under extremely menacing circumstances.
I believe Closone was used as a human shield at one point.
You
Yeah.
bastards. That's my daughter you're talking about.
All right, we're putting that in the continuity. Okay. So we'll start with Mansteel.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chirp is very upset about the head. And she's also very, very upset that she saw stuff that she cannot explain and did not like and could not control or influence. So she has just been, even abusing you hasn't calmed her down the way it usually does.
Oh, so I think, right, are we on the road right now?
Oh yeah, you're still on the road.
So I think, yeah, Mansteel's driving, and he's kind of settled into this kind of very misguided, sad, kind of deep sighing routine, trying to get her more and more upset. That's kind of the intent.
Can I just ask,
Yeah, poking that bear is going to work great.
how much time did you spend cleaning out your truck? Because it had several fatalities in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, part of it is the darkness can take care of any corpses, but yeah, you guys probably had to stop and detail
Oh, yeah,
that.
that was a problem.
Oh, Ray, you're kind of breaking up
Yeah,
there.
I mean, am I back now?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, we did that, but I mean, that's old news now. Now the thing is I need to reignite the spark in Chirp. I need to reignite the love that and care that she has for me. So it's kind of like this very immature kind of sighing.
All right. So she
That
says,
thing.
we need to pull over.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. Yeah.
And yeah, you find this rest station, and the others, Mara and Kelly, see his giant H3 just swerve over into the rest station parking area, and Chirp pretty much drags you out of there, drags you into a bathroom, yells at everyone until they leave, and really puts the boot in. She's got her very pointy shoes on. As you kneel down, lace your fingers behind your head, and goes to work on your torso until she's tired.
Yeah, I make sure that I maintain consciousness for her benefit. Okay. I need to make sure she finishes first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, she's not working the head because, she doesn't want to leave marks. She doesn't want to have to explain the intricacies of, what you two have going on to anybody. Roger buggered out, by the way. Okay. He got one look at the surgical teams and made some major life reevaluations. So you guys went to his room like, Roger, where the hell were you? And it's just empty.
It's a puff of smoke.
Yeah. She works you over like she's trying to get you to admit to something. And when she finally washes her hands and stalks out, you're sitting there thinking, oh, I hope my little honey pie feels better.
Absolutely.
When this door behind you opens, and it's one of the stall doors. And out comes a woman who you don't often see people and think, oh, I bet he's been through a lot, because you're kind of wrapped up in your own world of physical and emotional discomfort. But this woman looks like if you tried to construct a bride of Frankenstein out of tattooed ladies from several different circuses. She is the entire surface of her body is either scars or tats. And they're not illustrations. They're all words. They're, several of them in Arabic. Some of it, you think you see some Greek on her shoulder, but large swaths are just big white scar. She's wearing tracksuit pants, sleeveless tank top, which is a bold choice when your arms are as messed up as hers. Hair back in a scrunchy held ponytail and cat eye glasses, running shoes, and a big purse. And she comes out and says, "What would make you put up with that? What the hell, man? What's wrong with you? What's broken in you?"
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything is fine. All right? Sure. I'm in control.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, what's your character's real name? It
is Gerald.
I'm sorry.
Ostraculture.
Gerald. I know a little more about this than you think I do. I'm not just some weirdo hanging around in the bathroom. You're a wreck. Look at you. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, Gerald. Breathe in. Oh, doesn't that hurt? Doesn't that hurt your ribs? I bet she sprung a short rib on you with those nasty little pointy-toed knockoff boots. She thinks...
That's great. That's perfect. It's just a short rib, right? I mean, I'm going to walk away from this. Keep on keeping on.
You're going to walk right back into it? Come on. Listen. And she comes over and actually helps you, reaches down to help you stand up.
Yeah.
Slings an arm over your shoulder and says, "Your mom killed herself over a mistake. Did you know that? I mean, yes, you could have been illegitimate, but the fact is," and she pokes you in your chest, "you're not. Your own father disowned you because a lab rat had a hangover. And that's the source of this tragedy that makes you try and hurt yourself all the time. It's why you don't love yourself." Now.
Wait, who are you?
What? Call me Sarah.
All right, fuck you, Sarah. I don't know who you are. You don't know me like that.
I do know you like that.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand that there's stuff going on, and maybe telepathy is real or something. You could read my mind.
This isn't telepathy. I can't read your mind. I can read your past. I can read your fate. You want to know what's going to happen to you in 2022? It's
Sure.
disgusting. It's degrading, not in the good way. The constant abuse that Chirp inflicts on you, the organ damage, causes you to have liver and kidney failure, at which point she abandons you. She drops you like yesterday's skid-marked underpants and goes on to someone younger and more violent and less requiring of attention.
So like big tear. He's like, does she send me pictures of her new guy?
No.
Fuck.
She just leaves you in a hospital to slowly die with no one to take care of you. Does that sound like something when you wrote that essay in high school about where I see myself in 10 years, was that in it? Because listen, I want to help you, Gerald. Mostly I have a selfish motivation, but helping you helps me. So let's help each other.
What are you talking about?
Do you ever play video games, Gerald? Do you know what a save point is?
Yeah, I know about video games. Yeah.
So you go back and it's like you can undo all the mistakes you saw coming, right? What if I told you that the point where you got that blood test that put your mom on her fatal trajectory is a save point you can go back to? You can make it like that never happened. The worst thing in your life can be undone. Now, it's not a pretty process, but I can do it for you. You interested? Maybe want to find out what kind of man you'd turn out to be if you'd had a proper dad during your formative years? Huh?
I don't even know what you're talking about. So what I could just go back and I forget it all? Do I forget it all?
Yeah, you become a new person, a better person, a person who didn't get used by who didn't have tragedy use them as a chew toy.
Yeah, I'll hear you out. I'm not agreeing to anything. But
All right.
I'll hear you out.
It'll be easy for you. All you have to do is find this girl named Joy and bring her to me. That's the first step. Do you think you can just do that? Just that.
Yeah, I could do. Sure, yeah, I could. With some girl, sure, yeah, absolutely.
And she looks and she just has this bright smile with the parts of her body that were undamageable. Her eyes and her smile are gorgeous. She has these big, deep brown eyes, beautiful, long, natural lashes, perfect teeth. And when she smiles, you can see she's genuinely happy. And it somehow just makes the scarring and text on the rest of her face that much worse. All right. So Kim and Karen and Claudenet and Joy are driving along. So you guys picked up Joy. She showed up out of nowhere, was mentioned in passing. Karen, she's the one who can turn into a swan sometimes, right? And the two of you, got her to show you on her forearm, tattooed, is not just, a description of the incident that incited Karen's problems. It was the way you'd always thought of it. The one on her leg says, as he dragged himself away dying, it looked like an exclamation point with his body as the dot at the bottom, which was the metaphor that kind of replayed itself in Kim's mind over and over and over while she was face down getting treatments on her damaged back. And so what she's told you is that you were cursed by her mother or grandmother, one of the two, and that because of that, they will try and convince you to bring her to them so that they can do it to someone else. And now, how did you guys respond when you found this out?
I think I was shocked to find out that my past was tattooed to the body of a young girl.
Yeah.
This information hasn't quite processed yet.
So I'm in previous sessions, the players were like, we're not going to hurt you, Joy. We promise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume you made those promises.
Yep.
But I'm not going to assume they were sincere unless you tell me they were.
No, for Kim, that's 100% sincere. I can't speak for Karen, but Joy.
Karen just said those things because those are the things that you say. And
okay.
but still, like, it's not, again, it hasn't even sunk in. Like, I'm encountering this incredibly strange situation, and the realization that suddenly the vast majority of my life is open to question is a profound idea that I'm still digesting.
She has told you that she has reluctantly explained that the deal is her ancestresses will come to you and offer to take the tattoo off of her. That
What does
if
that
they
mean?
That they will cut it out of her skin and offer it to you to eat.
Why would I want to do that?
Because then it will never have happened.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Your life will be reformatted as if the accident never occurred. But she'll do it again. If you bring me to her, she'll put some other bad fate on me and it will go out and find someone else to hurt.
Even if that wasn't true, Joy, you asked us something that really, I chewed on it. You asked about the best thing that ever happened to us.
Yes.
Yeah. So
let me run up the backstory here. That Joy has explained to the original heisters, or to Kim and Karen at any event, that if they choose, that the universe is constantly churning, it gets destroyed and recreated. And that if they can tell her the best thing that ever happened to them, she can write that down and it will become incorporated in the material of the next universe. That their joys can persist not only past their own lives, but past the life of everything, past the time when everything they've ever experienced or observed has been removed. Their hopes can live forever.
Yeah, those words have been echoing around in my head since you did. Look, this is not the best time in my life. This right here, driving down this highway with you folks in this car, this sucks. I'm getting Jesse the hell out of here because he's got a life ahead of him, and I don't want him sucked into this. He's too good a guy for that, even if he doesn't know it, right? Like, this is terrible. The best time in my life was 2 weeks ago, before we went to Quebec, before this stuff started going down, when I felt like I was settling in with a new crew. I'm not going to bullshit and say family. We're not that close. But it was people I liked, people I could be with, right? People where my skills mattered and I could use what I learned in the Marines for something halfway decent, or sometimes just halfway fun. 2 weeks ago was the best.
And she's writing this down.
Eat that tattoo, that shitty thing that happened out in the desert. You're getting both of them. You're getting the worst and the best. And I'm not going to make that trade-off, right? I like to think that I'd go for the good of humanity and not turn you over for something that might happen to somebody else. But right now, right here, I'm not turning you over because I want to keep that best thing.
And she looks at you, and there are tears in her eyes as she says, thank you. She's like, I only meet people who have a lot to gain from hurting me. And
Yeah.
you
And
can't
I'm one of them that I'm not
imagine
going to do it.
you can't imagine how much it means when they don't. And she's, she looks like she's 16, but you've counted 2 visible scars on her already. So you know that people do this. All right. And so then she kind of looks over at Karen.
So does Kim.
I guess the best moment was, and Karen's eyes look over at Clausmate when I finally got her back after Leah went to jail, and we hadn't seen each other. He'd kept her hidden from me for over a year. I didn't know if I'd ever see my daughter again, and finally she was here, but that moment would never have happened. It would never have needed to happen if I hadn't been in the accident. I would have never lost her at all if I hadn't been in the accident.
She's, writing this down, and she's like, I haven't met a lot of people, but I've read a lot of the statements, the past joys. You would be surprised how many of them have grown out of people coping with maybe not their worst thing, but a bad thing, where they find a way to turn it around, where they find a way to take the pain and give it meaning somehow, to decide that it's going to make them more compassionate and not less. All right, so let's switch to Kelly. Sure, we'll do Kelly. So, okay, you saw Mansteel's H3 pull into the this rather rundown rest area. I presume the rest of you just caravanned right on in. Probably Mara would enjoy an opportunity. Well, not enjoy, but appreciate an opportunity to look over the injuries of the people who got, kind of chopped up by the surgical team. Which, I don't know, in your version, who do you think got hurt? Volpo's dead. Roger's gone. Chirp doesn't seem like the type to risk her own self. Did Kelly get hurt?
I really liked. It's a good excuse for the darkness not to be present. The darkness tried getting into Chirp's room and came out with a bunch of stab wounds.
Oh yeah, that happened in your session.
Right.
Chirp treasures her privacy. What you gonna do? So you pull over. Mara does not need your help to deal with this festering pile of nonsense in his their perforations. So gonna just go take a walk. It's a pretty nice spring day. Birds are singing. Well, sky looks like the wallpaper you put up in a child's bedroom, all pure blue and white clouds.
I would like to take a walk, but first I would like to turn to Mara and ask, what the fuck, Mara?
You will have to elaborate.
Well, let's see. We had 5 chumps steal a statue head from a museum. You received some mysterious phone calls, and then we ripped off said chumps. Then we park at a motel, and some other occult fucking crazy teleporting surgical bullshit comes out of the woodwork. So I see the writing on the wall, Mara. There's like one person at the bottom level, and then we're here at the middle level, and we just got fucked by the people one level up from us. So how many more levels are on top of us, Mara?
Does it matter at this point? I mean,
well, ask the person with the knife wounds, Mara.
And, the darkness sort of groans and says, honestly, I think we're all on the same level. I think all of us eventually will wind down into entropy.
I need some air. You two just fuck, and I leave.
All right. So you can. There's only one other person, it seems, at the rest station. Give me a notice roll.
87. I do not notice shit. I'm too upset.
Yeah. So there's this old lady. Do you know what a camise is and what shalwar pants are? So that's what she's wearing. So like a sort of Syrian old lady clothes, and she's got her head covered up in a scarf, and she's sitting on the. She's not sitting on the bench part of the picnic table. She's sitting up on the top where you usually put your food, and she's got a bag of popcorn, and she's like taking popcorn pieces and flicking them with her fingers at squirrels and birds. And there's a little constellation of squirrels and birds that are catching this popcorn. And as she as you get closer, she says, "Hey, Kelly, how's it going?" "You look very frazzled there, Kelly. Come here, have some popcorn. It's plain." I didn't want to.
No, it's, you know.
I didn't want to give the squirrels and shit cheese popcorn or heavily buttered popcorn. Here, have some though.
I appreciate it.
And as you get closer, you can see that her hand, her all you can really see of her is her face, her hands, and her feet. But they are all, like the woman who met Mansteel, wreathed in scars and letters. She's got some English, she's got some Japanese kanji, and leaning up against the picnic table is a cane with a head that's shaped like a serpent.
So I'm assuming, since you know my name, that you know what's been going on.
Oh, no. I just know what's important. The little fiddly shit about your life, I don't care about.
I watched a man get his face removed last night.
Wow!
And like, it just like the skin, the meat, the front of the skull, just gone.
Wow! You can see, her. She's kind of saying "wow" with her mouth open as she's shoving popcorn in. And she's like, "Oh man, I wish I'd gotten salt on this."
So like, where on the scale of little thing does that sit for you?
Hey, sooner or later, everyone's face goes to hell, right? I mean,
Not really in a joking mood right now.
No, I understand. Here, have a seat, honey. Have a seat. You've been through a lot.
I sit down.
It's like, listen, do you want the real simple, straightforward explanation?
I haven't been at this a very long time, but what I have learned is that anyone who says there's a simple explanation for this shit is trying to sell you something. So, you know what? Give me the complex truth.
The complex truth is that the world is a sort of committee-designed construct that is constantly self-destructing and then being reborn out of the blood, toil, suffering, and belief of everyone who gets crushed in the trash compactor of the previous universe. It's like the cosmic plan is a trash compactor that destroys everything slowly in the most grinding, painful, inefficient way in order to build from its shattered wreckage a new trash compactor. That's all there is. Now, the question is, are you content to be trash? And the answer is, it doesn't matter if you're content or not. But I'll tell you this, there are grades of trash. There's bad trash, and there's slightly less bad trash. There's like, the really rancid, foul-smelling trash. And then there's trash that's just, it's a little grubby and used up, and so we're going to throw it out. Which are you? And she holds out her popcorn and shakes the bag.
I knew there was going to be a sales pitch. Okay.
Her teeth are perfect. She's got to be like 70, but her teeth don't look fake. They just look really good. Like she has kept them in terrific, like she's taken, like flossed as often as you're supposed to. And she has gorgeous, gorgeous big brown eyes with long lashes. And she says, listen, would your life make more sense if I told you you were cursed? That someone put a curse on you to get shot by that twisted thing, to see your husband die and to lose your daughter. Does that make more sense than the idea that, oh no, crazy ass toys just happen? You're living in a low budget 90s horror movie. Which makes more sense? Which makes more sense, Kelly? Huh?
Yeah, curse would explain a lot.
Can I tell you how to break the curse? Or would you dismiss that as just me trying to sell you something?
Well, how about if you tell me and I'll let you know?
Your curse is written on the body of a 16-year-old girl. If you bring her to me, I can break it. If you bring her to me, you will never have met Bun Bun. You can make it all unhappen. You think it's too late, but you can save your man. Was it a husband or a wife? What was Kelly's partner?
Well, you said husband already, so let's do husband.
You can save your husband's life. And I know that's something you wanted. Did you say prayers about that? I never paid attention to your prayers. Did you pray that it could maybe be undone? Because if you did, do you really care what I'm selling you?
Hey, have you ever heard of anthropomancy?
I know there are people running around doing all kinds of crazy.
Just give me like anthropomancy. It was an ancient Greek, I think, practice of trying to tell the future through the entrails of a dying virgin child. Okay?
Oh yeah, I remember those guys.
Yeah. Well,
I thought they used goats.
Turns out that there's a lot more mystical significance in the death of a human than the death of a goat. Imagine that.
To a goat. Yeah, no, I get it.
So
only you guys have souls or whatnot.
There was a gym teacher in a little town in New Mexico by the name of Steve Bukowski, and he was trying his hand at anthropomancy.
Damn.
And I killed him horribly using Fun Bun.
Using Fun Bun. Yeah,
Now,
she gone now, though, isn't she?
If you send me back, I can only assume that Steve is going to continue killing virgin children to try and tell the future. Now, a better offer to me would be, Fun Bun's not with us anymore. That leaves me a little bit unarmed. You find me a bigger metaphorical gun, and then maybe we'll talk. Do you think you could do
that? Who is it that you are so mad at that you need a cosmic gun to shoot them?
Well, I've recently come into the realization that there are levels of this stuff.
Sure.
I've seen the first level, I've seen the second level, I've seen the third level. I can only imagine that it keeps on going all the way up. You find me the biggest gun that you can find, and I'll shoot the biggest fucker I can find.
Bring me joy, and I will tell you how to shoot everything. Her name's Joy. You'll find her. You're fated to. Bring her to me. And she like takes your hand and she's like, I think we can really do this. I think we really can. I think we can stop it all. You've given me more hope than I've had in decades, Kelly. All right. So back to the original group. How do I'm going to suggest that we fast forward a little bit to the Mound Museum, that y'all are on your way there, and that, Joy is absolutely delighted that the two of you have given her happiest moments, because she's like, yeah, I'm now safe from you, which is fantastic, and I'm going to be able to sleep at night. She and Claugenet are getting along pretty good. Are you going to try and get rid of Jesse and Dr. A? Dr. A in particular wants to go to the Mound Museum. Jesse's, he's like, the last museum I went to wasn't that much fun, but
I prefer safety in numbers, personally. I mean, we know that those nut jobs are out there, and they're probably headed here as well because, we're trying to intercept them and still maybe finish this thing, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving Jesse the honest friendship. I think you're better off if you get the hell out of here. I don't think this is going anywhere good, but I'm not going to tell you to go away. I'm just going to tell you what I think you should do.
Jesse puts his hand on your shoulder and says, Kim, baby, I'd rather be in the shit with you than anywhere else with anyone worse.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah,
All
Kim,
right. So this only leaves. Oh, what was that?
I was just saying to Kim, if you intend to protect this girl, I think we really need to. We need everyone.
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right.
That's fine. Another crack at those jerks who stole the head.
So Mara, this leaves you. And as you can imagine, you also get approached. It's the same woman who talked to Mansteel at some point. When are you by yourself? When are you, alone and vulnerable to discussion from a... How would you guys describe these women? What's what's your impression, Kelly Mansteel? What's your impression of these entities who've shown up with these deals?
I think that Mansteel probably considers her an amazing opportunity to get out of jail, right? To the get out of jail free card for him, right?
Okay.
Which is kind of the core of his fear, right? Like he can pass that off, and that's kind of right. So that's the opportunity that she presents. He just has to figure it out with Chirp. Okay. That's a whole we can talk about that later. That's a thing.
Kelly has not altogether thrown out the possibility that she was talking to one of the Norns or any one of a number of other fake goddesses. Gets back to the car, pulls out her phone, and begins Googling all sorts of mythology about such beings.
All right, so where is Mara alone?
Okay, so still in the car, I say to the darkness, I'm like, last night I got rid of that thing that's been hounding me for years, and I immediately replace it with Volpos. And I pull up the shawl thing that he had wrapped around his waist, because from our game, he died on the way to the hospital.
Right.
I didn't want strangers to get that thing.
Right.
So what Mara does is gets out a lighter and gets out some alcohol that no doubt is in this car somewhere. And I'm going to go to the back of the rest area pitch the little pelt inside of it, drench it, and light it up.
Okay. It doesn't actually burn very well until this woman in, as I described to Mansteel, she shows up and she's like, no. Here's what you need is lighter fluid. It's basically liquid paraffin. It's like, there you go. And the flames just shoot up like 3 feet high. She's like, how are you doing?
Better now.
Burning
Thanks.
the old werewolf skin, huh? Yeah, make a clean sweep of it. Would you really want to get all naked just to run around and, bite people better?
You knew what that was?
Sure. I know everything about you, Mara.
Cleansing breath. Do tell.
Well, I know that I'm not sure I should even bother talking to you. The worst thing that ever happened to you wasn't that bad, was it? I mean, all you lost was that. What was your husband's name?
You either know or you don't.
Joe Shea. That's a fun name. It's fun to say. I'm surprised you're taking the loss of the Love Annihilator so well.
That was a bear trap that I had stepped into, and I finally got it off of me. I'm surprised I'm not dancing around this rest area right now, actually.
My mom walks with a cane because of reasons. If you'd really stepped into a bear trap, is that how you see it? As this thing that you happened upon and it scarred you forever? Because a lot of people have something like that in their lives, don't they? The point where you draw the line and there's before and then there's after.
It had uses. I was able to do some good with it.
Sure, that's amazing. But mostly it sucked, right?
Right.
And getting rid of it was great, right?
Well, it was a little bit muted by Volpo's immediate death afterwards, but yeah, for about 30 seconds there, I was flying high.
Wouldn't it be better, though, if it had never happened, if you'd never encountered that thing, if you'd seen the possibility and just said, no, you know what? I'm good.
You know who I am. Who are you?
Oh, my name's Sarah. You can call me Sarah.
Okay, Sarah.
What if I told you could undo meeting that thing? Huh? Get your husband back? Be just happy and normal? You could walk back. What?
Would I know I'm experiencing this do-over, or?
Nope. Pure, innocent, walking back your bad fate.
What's to keep me from immediately walking right back into my bad fate?
No, that's not part of the deal. If you opt to defy your past, it stays defied. You would never encounter 618835. Now, there are some drawbacks. Doing something as complicated and effortful as what is effectively time travel, you're going back in time to kill Hitler here, only instead of Hitler, it's your own personal demons.
Yeah.
This isn't a ride everyone can ride. Do you get me?
I do.
Now, I've held this deal out to your boy Mansteel, but frankly, I think he's not going to go one way or the other unless, what's her name, the brittle one, tells him it's okay. And I think your friend Kelly might be considering it a little more seriously. But I'm going to let you know something they don't. Only one of you can get the prize. Now, if all three of you decide to go for it, well, it's just going to be whoever's fastest on the draw, right? Oh, and I suppose if all three of you decide, no, I can't do it. I can't hand over a 16-year-old girl to those old witches.
What are you talking about? What's
that's sort of the ritual that you have to go through in order to disenchant your cursed life. You have to bring me a particular 16-year-old girl, my daughter Joy. Bring her to me, and
We're
I can.
done.
What?
We're done.
I knew you were going to be the hard one. There's always one hard ass.
I spent my life trying to help people, addictions, pains that you want me to visit it on a complete stranger so that maybe I can not remember making the worst choice of my life?
Yeah. Yes. You get it. You see how it works.
Is this by any chance a 16-year-old Hitler as a girl?
Honestly, you know you want to know what her future is? If you could look back at Hitler in the crib and, know what was going to happen to him, here's what's going to happen to Joy. She's going to get hurt by everyone she knows over and over and over again until there's nothing left of her. There's nothing clear or clean or pure left. Just scars and bad fates written all over her. And when that happens, she's going to change her name and she'll be me. So yeah, bring her to me. And yeah, if you're worried that the person you're hurting is going to be some innocent, sweet, doe-eyed lamb, no. In 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, she is going to be sitting around with me trying to cook up the worst imaginable thing you can do to whomever. Just think about it. Just don't think too long. You'll meet her soon. I can feel it. And she reaches out with her tattooed, scarred hand, pats you on the cheek condescendingly. Then walks off. All right. I'm going to take a brief break. I'm going to ask the five of you to talk among yourselves. Figure out a plausible way that your characters can run into each other. Is it going to be at the museum, or are you going to run into each other before that? Is Mara going to call people and warn them? Are you going to set up some kind of confab? Think about it while I am out. I'll be right back.
So Mara would 100% call Kim.
That's really funny because Kim was going to text everybody on Oppo team. I bet they cross and hit at the same time.
Why is my phone blowing up? I don't what.
You guys all maybe if this worked, right? Because I think getting us talking is the point. But I was thinking of a text that just said, "Hard way or easy way, we want to talk."
Ooh. So is this sort of like a?
No, not it.
I was thinking this is sort of like an uneasy meet somewhere, somewhere remote where we're not sure if there's going to be shooting or not, and we're all putting our cards on the table potentially.
Is there any chance at all that we're not just meeting at a Waffle House?
I had a similar idea of some very innocuous kind of terrible place to meet, like an insignificant place.
Yeah,
right. Just kind of.
That's how you hide from the powers that be. You need to go somewhere you cannot be noticed.
My very first Unknown Armies game way back in the midst of prehistory, Waffle Houses were the sacred meeting place. You didn't fuck people over at a Waffle House.
And it's news are growing. So here's my question about it. I think also to figure this out is what do different parties want? And that doesn't mean that we have to like be fully out with it, but like at least both teams, or we should have some idea, right? Of like, what are the stakes when we arrive?
So to be clear, are you talking about the player level, like what we would desire from the narrative, or at the character level? Oh, I lost Mansteel.
Yep, Mansteel froze again.
Frozen. Okay.
So on the character level, I would reach out to Kim and say, we've lost the head too, but I think something more is at stake.
All right. That's a trust fall. That's pretty great because we didn't know. We think you have the head still.
That would be Mara's shot to you.
Kim, you can't trust this. Mara's already, sold us down the river before. She's probably lying just to get us off her trail.
Probably. So what? We leave Jesse on Overwatch back at the museum. Maybe the doctor as well. 2 of us do the meet.
Well, I suppose. Actually, they only used Clausenay once as a human shield.
Yeah, I haven't wanted to say that, but it's on my mind.
I don't want her involved. Maybe Dr. Ray could come with us and
let's do that. Jesse and Clausenay.
So does Kim have everyone on?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, Kelly?
You're a good mom. If I was ever going to be a mom, I'd pay attention to what you do. Not perfect, but nobody's perfect.
Well, I wish you'd tell her that. She doesn't.
Oh, no. I'm not getting in between the Wolverines. I'm smarter than that, honey.
And does Kim have all of our numbers?
Kim, in my continuity, Kim has Mansteel's real name because Jesse picked Mansteel's pocket. So Mara and Mansteel for sure. Kim's a hacker, so who knows what Kim can track down. That's a great question. But if Mara reached out, I think that's a good way to do it.
In my continuity, which is definitely not main, but Mara and Jesse reached out to each other and met at a diner.
Oh, nice.
To hash things out. So it's kind of where I'm coming from a little bit mentally.
Let's echo and do it again.
I would like to catch Mansteel as he is limping out of the washroom. How many guns do you have?
I have 1 gun because that's all you need if you're an excellent shot.
Don't. You were not very helpful last night for all of this fucking machismo, okay? So just ease off a little bit.
All right. I'm at a transitional moment right now. I need you to just start over and give me some more respect, and I will try to do the same thing for you. I will try, but I'm not going to try very hard.
Oh, yes. Very well said, Mr. Mansteel. Okay. Did you just have a fucking weird encounter with something weird promising you weird stuff? Because I did.
Yeah. What was yours like?
Long story short, do something horrible, get something nice.
Yeah. Okay, sure, yeah.
So
I had that happen.
Hi, everybody. What are we talking about? Chirp has just shown up to the 2 of you.
Good. I am glad that you are here, Chirp, because I feel like it's time for us to maybe get a little bit better acquainted.
I'd love nothing more than that, Kelly, she says, fluttering her eyelashes.
Yeah, see, this is not doing it for me anymore. I don't know. Is it a magical power? Is that the reason why you have to be like this? Or
like what, sweetie?
Okay, no, I'm peace. We're about to go and do some awful stuff, Chirp. I know that you are acquainted with awful things, although you like to insist that you are not.
I don't know what you mean, Kelly. You look really upset.
Yes, I am very upset. I am not terribly fond of having to count up the amount of firearms that we have access to right now, but it's going to be one of those kinds of nights.
Oh, do you think what's happening? And she kind of floats behind Mansteel as if unconsciously expecting him to protect her.
See, this is interesting. This is interesting, Mansteel, because, you know, when I said, did you just have a weird encounter? You said yes, and I believe you. When Chirp hears that we've had a weird encounter, she doesn't know what we're talking about. Now, what do you think that means, Mansteel?
Well, he doesn't have to tell me everything. What happened, sweetie?
I'm not going to tell you. Why the hell are you out of the car?
I'm sorry. I'll just go back there then.
Absolutely.
And she drops her shoulders and slouches away.
I was kind of hoping for more from the knife lady, but okay. You and me, Mansteel, fine. We have the darkness isn't going to be giving us any help. Mara, frankly, I don't trust. I think Mansteel, that she fucked over her last team, and I think she's just getting finished fucking over this team.
What did you
Mara,
do?
the sinister mastermind.
Kelly, what did you do? What did you do? What are you getting out of this deal?
We'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm going to go back in fucking time. Maybe I'm going to get some sort of crazy, god-killing super weapon. Or maybe I'm going to catch out a bunch of witches who know way more about our past than we would like, and, find how many pieces we can cut them into.
All right.
Keeping my options open today.
All right. Well, I'm going to close one of your options for you right now. You're going to shut up about all this with Chirp. Because if she starts getting wind of this and starts going south, I'm going to put a gun in your mouth and pull the trigger. Your little rabbit bag is gone. Have I made myself clear?
If you think getting shot by a gun is the most threatening thing going on right now, maybe I shouldn't be talking to you. Okay, no, you're right. I will leave Chirp out of this. But you did not say that you're out of this. So you have one gun. I have not much, but I do have a little. That's the gun that you had the girl when we got the head, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have a Ford Windstar.
We have a Ford Windstar. Okay, I think I can make something work. I think I can make something work.
Right.
All right.
So what was the plan y'all came up with while I was away?
Mara reached out to Kim, just straight up told Kim that we lost the head too. Would like to do a meet. There's something bigger going down.
All right. So are you guys going to meet at the museum or elsewhere?
Waffle
Kim
House.
hasn't answered me yet.
Waffle House.
Tim says Waffle House.
All right. And okay. Let's see what we got here in the messages.
Karen and Kim also have a small set of preparations.
Okay. How is Kim preparing?
Kim is setting up dossiers on a dead man switch on every member of the opposition and everything that she and Karen can remember about them between themselves, set to go out to police in 2 countries, CNN, and anybody relevant that Karen knows in the Mystic Underground.
Okay.
It's on like a 1-week switch. It's not like we're going to be careful not to trigger this by accident, but...
Okay. And yeah, I think we're going to need to do this with Karen's plan being, an open secret to
Oh, yeah.
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 Okay.
No, that's fine.
All right. So y'all show up at the Waffle House. So where I'm assuming you're not bringing Claugenet and the real Joy to this.
Well, we're talking this openly, right? So this is a matter of knowledge. All right,
that way.
I think it's much more interesting if Joy is actually still a chip in play. So I'm figuring that she's hidden in the van or waiting in the van. So like, especially if someone has mystic senses, like is Joy around? Like she'll still ping on that.
Okay.
But she's
Jesse and Dr. A are going to stay there with her with Claugenet.
Well, I thought we had Jesse and Claugenet watching the Mound Museum in case of an end run or a dodge by the other team.
Oh, okay. So they're going on ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny.
And Dr. Ray is coming with us.
Sometimes you just want to have medical personnel nearby when you go to have a friendly conversation. All right.
In advance of everything, Kelly is going to try and set up a ritual. We have the gun that was used to hold Claugenet hostage. We have all of the vehicles that were around at the time where we got the head. So I'm going to try and whammy the first team by reenacting that. Mara, how mistrustful are you of us right now?
Not particularly, to be honest. I'm in a completely different place at this point than I was when we started. So I'm pretty forthcoming with things, except for my conversation at the burning barrel. That thing I'm keeping to myself.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to grill Mara for information on the first team on the way to the Waffle House and work it into the ritual that I'm working.
All right. Give me your ritual roll.
We are completely incompetent losers.
Okay. 003.
So, okay.
Oh, 3, nice.
Yeah. All right. Okay. They will be slightly impaired.
So,
All right.
Greg, I think for Mansteel, the only thing really that matters is what the content of the conversation was like with Chirp once they got back in the car in terms of her curiosity and or understanding of what Kelly was talking about.
Well, she asks you about what happened. She's like, was there someone else in that bathroom? I checked it. There was nobody there.
So I think basically what's going to end up happening is Mansteel's gonna break down and feign that he's just overwhelmed and that he just wants to make her happy, and it's just everything's so confusing. But that's all an act, specifically to get at the question of would she ever leave him, or would she make sure that he can die by her hands before she left him? That is the question.
Give me a notice roll.
I will do it. 69.
Okay, is that a success?
No.
Okay. Yeah, she promises you that, before she lets another woman have you, she will kill you herself.
All right. So then he's basically going to come out with everything.
And she's like, no, you can't listen to them. You have no way of knowing what they're talking, that they even can do what they're promising. This is not something to toy with. Don't do it.
So what do we do?
Just let those other dumb bitches fool around with them.
All right.
Say you'll help and then don't help. You're good enough at that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, just be a useless piece of shit. All right, yeah. Let's be a useless piece of shit.
The uselessest. And she leans over and gives you a little kiss on the cheek.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's yeah.
Okay. So that happens as you're pulling into the Waffle House driveway. Kim, you're going in. Kim, Karen, and Dr. A, but Karen is disguised. Correct?
Yes, I assume you can let me roll, or we can just assume that is successful.
No, roll it.
Oh dear. Oh dear. We'll see if I'm disguised then. This could all fall apart at this point. Oh dear. Oh wait, actually I can flip flop this, right?
You can, yes.
I dress the part successfully.
Okay. And yeah, Joy is surprisingly undisturbed by this. Usually people kind of get a little flipped, but she's like, oh, that's neat.
I'm like, what's neat? As Joy.
And she laughs. She has a beautiful laugh.
You know, you have a beautiful laugh.
Thank you. All right, so
people.
Yeah, Kim, you're like,
This is why I like Jesse.
You knew Karen could do stuff, but it's always impressive to see it.
Yeah, that's a word.
All right, so each of let's see, Mansteel and Kim, give me pursuit rolls. Let's see who gets to the Waffle House first.
All right.
That is not me. Oh wait, no, that is not me at all. Can I flip flop that? No, I missed.
How Mansteel do?
15.
All right. Oh,
Okay.
for a second there, it looked like Ray froze up. All right.
Yeah, I'm annoyed at it. I got a 39.
Okay.
I succeeded.
Okay. So yeah, the Oppo pulls up first. Where are you going to park? What is your plan?
So Mansteel goes over to Kelly and is like, all right, I'm going to park around back. Do you want me to come in with you? Do you want me to stay out here? Chirp's going to stay in here.
Okay.
I'm in the car with Kelly, so I'm hearing this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't have crazy kung fu powers or anything. All my juice ended up buried in a very shallow grave out by the motel. If you two want to muscle and brains, you go in, handle things. I will do my best to watch for occult shenanigans. If anything untoward happens, I'll give you a 2 texts. If you hear your phone go off twice in quick succession, that means that there is shit going down. How does that sound?
Works for me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, the two of you can go in and get yourselves some damn fine coffee and apple pie, or whatever you're hungry for.
So Mansteel definitely turned to Mara. So Mara, what do you think is going to happen here?
I don't think it's going to be a shootout. It seems like maybe you and Kelly are getting real tactical about this. Like, I have a past with some of the people in this group.
That's great. I don't.
Yeah, but I haven't steered you wrong. I haven't particularly steered them wrong. I mean, they're a little irked with me, but we should be able to come to a place where we can get to the next step. The mystery of the head, whatever's going on. Did you see anybody at the rest area?
No.
Like making promises, like really big promises.
Give me that lie roll, Mansteel.
17.
Give me that notice roll.
4.
Mansteel seems, yeah. You're like, Can anyone genuinely be that dumb, or is it a put on? It seems like maybe a put on to you. He answered like that. He didn't think about it for a second.
And so I don't talk about it either.
Okay. Yeah, so you get into the Waffle House, and a woman in a camise and headscarf walks past, on the other side, but she's kind of turned away, and takes a booth way down at the end. And a little while after that, a woman in track pants and a windbreaker. And it's not a headscarf. You know how 50s housewives would like tie a kerchief? She's got one of those going on. And she goes and sits in the same corner booth. And not long after that, in walks Dr. A. And okay, so it sounds like the established continuity is that Mansteel put a gun to Claugenet's head.
Yeah.
And, that's how you extorted the statue from them. And so, yeah, in walks Kim, Dr. A, and this 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, Kim's in the chair, but yeah.
So I guess maybe I'm pushing Kim.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I lean down close and like, I know I don't meet a lot of people, but are you sure you can trust them?
No.
Okay, now is this the spell where she believes she is Joy?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
this seems like a very exciting possibility.
All right. So you immediately spot your mom and grandma in the corner, and
They're here.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to wheel Kim, like I think the wheel gets caught on like the door or whatever. Like the door is like partially closed. I'm trying to jerk it back, and they're here. We can't go in.
Honey, this has got to be a choice thing. Everything you've told us about this, like these two,
No.
they got power, right? But they don't just come grab you, do they? Breathe with me.
No.
Breathe with me here. Just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in.
You don't know what
breathe
you're
out.
doing to me.
They're not going to do anything to you.
They probably cursed some other people here. Anyone.
They didn't have time. They didn't get to you. It's going to be okay.
You promise?
I can't promise you that, but what I can promise you is that it's me between you and harm. You're not going to get a better deal than that anywhere in this life, honey. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Do that in and out thing I just told you about. It's important.
Okay. I look nervously. Joy looks nervously at Dr. A and then wrestles the chair into the restaurant.
Dr. A helps you, and you guys pull up to Mara and Mansteel's table.
I am sitting outside watching for supernatural phenomena. Is there anything weird going on?
No, you saw them. You saw them come out of a van, and you recognize that van. The head was in the van. So you're watching that van pretty closely.
Yes.
It's like you can't take your eyes off it. Like there's a magnet in that van pulling your eyes closer.
I will be stalking closer to that van as the conversation goes on.
Okay. Yeah, so up rolls Dr. A 16-year-old girl, and Kim. What do y'all say to him?
Doctor, Kim, I put my hand out to Kim first. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for asking.
Who's your friend?
You've heard of her. Wait, I don't know that, do you? I don't know, but she's terrified of something. What the hell are you into, Mara, that's got a 16-year-old girl that's scared of something?
Have you met them?
Dr. A is glaring at Mansteel.
Have they asked you?
Mansteel match him glare for glare.
You know there's another choice, right?
Choice?
You could tell me about your happiest memory. I promise. I promise if you tell me about your happiest moment in your life, I'll write it down in my book. I'll write it down, and it won't die. It won't be consumed at the end. It will go on to give birth to the next cycle. That piece of you will live on. I promise you don't have to give me to them.
I'm not giving you to anybody. What are you talking about, cycles?
You know, right? When all the bits of this world are worn out, when everything, the archetypes are full, and this world will be destroyed, and from the fragments of it, they'll build the next one. And you have a choice.
And you can preserve something amazing.
Yes, that's right. Just don't give me to them, please.
I look at Kim and just kind of, what is this?
I'm just a jarhead, honey. I take orders, I shoot things, sometimes I hack things. I've been over my head.
Dr. A says, it seems very simple to me. Either there are two competing policies here: the pro-child abuse policy and the anti-child abuse policy. And he looks at Mansteel and says, I have a strong feeling which one you're on, but Mara, I expect something better from you.
That's not a choice for me. I'm not going to hurt the kid.
Outstanding.
What was your happiest moment?
It's been a while since anyone's asked me that.
All right. We're going to cut away from this to Kelly creeping closer. Give me a secrecy roll to approach unseen.
22.
Ooh. Wow. Okay, yeah. You can get as close as you want.
I'm going to nonchalantly look in the window and, see why I'm being drawn here.
Well, you can glance in. You skulk on up right to the passenger side, and you've got a makeup compact, and you can creep that up there and look through the little mirror. But there's no one in the front seat. And that's not the interesting part. You're pretty sure whatever it is that's interesting is in the back windowless part. You could open the door.
I'm going to say, fuck. I'm going to go back and get the tire iron out.
Okay.
And then go and open up the back door.
All right. And you open up and startle 3 people. And one of them is the exact same girl you saw walk in. And there's a guy. We always used the masculine Jesse. So yeah, it's a guy with tattoos on his arm. And the 16-year-old girl that Mansteel put a gun to her head in order to extort the head. And they're like, what do you say?
I'm here to make a deal.
And Jesse also has a tire iron, and he's like, what deal?
Okay, so you've been talking to weird fate people, right? Yes, is that right?
And the girl, let me find exactly what part of her. Yeah, it's her right arm. You can tell there's something about her right arm that is very important to you. And so how casual are you about staring at it?
I'm going to attempt to keep my eyes on the guy with the tire iron and try not to look
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the threat of an immediate tire ironing is probably he holds it with more conviction than you feel you are holding yours.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Kelly is much more the set a trap and be away from it when it goes off type.
Yeah. So he's, glaring at you. The teenage girls are kind of back behind him. And he's like, what's your deal?
We don't have much time. You remember all the shadowy death shit that was going on, right? You remember that, right?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, that's about to happen right here. Rest of my team, they want to take that girl and give her to these weird fake people. If you want to you need to get her out of here right now before things break bad.
Okay, thanks for the tip. Don't be upset if we don't offer you a ride, okay? And he starts closing the door.
You can't just leave me here. Come on. I'm the one giving you a tip.
He's like,
you know what these people are like.
He's like, yeah, I can't. You say I can't just leave you here, and yet here we are. Clong. What you doing?
Well, are they making a move to leave?
He's climbing into the front seat. And at this point, you can literally feel a breath in your ear as the old one, who has come from nowhere, says, they're getting away.
I know. Well, that's the point. I'm going to, because I still have the wind star, right?
Yeah, you going to follow them as they drive off?
Absolutely. But before I do, I'm going to take the tire iron, and can I see any kind of external, like a power box or a gas line or anything?
No, not really. They tend to make waffle houses so that the power boxes are on the inside and not easily prey to any passing vandal.
It was worth a try. Well, this
Kim, your phone buzzes.
It's
a text from Closenet saying someone just warned us that they're trying to snatch her. We're leaving.
Oh, I haul the gun out from my wheelchair underneath my wheelchair where I've concealed it, and I put it on the table pointing at Mansteel. What the fuck?
Yes, Mansteel. What the fuck indeed?
Pointing at Mansteel, but I'm talking to Mara.
Yeah, so Mansteel's sitting there looking across, and he's like, put away the gun.
Okay, not talking to you, talking to the smart one.
Put away the gun.
If someone came and warned you, tell Jesse or whoever's in the van to get the hell out of here.
And you can see the van getting the hell out of there.
He's getting the hell out of there.
Being followed by another smaller van.
I look at Mansteel.
I don't think we know that van.
You want to lie to me about that woman again at the rest stop?
What are you talking about?
You lied to me when we walked in here.
How do you know about the woman at the rest stop? Did you meet her? I don't think I'm the only one who lied.
You didn't ask me, genius.
Y'all got something to work out here? Like, y'all need privacy?
No.
What do you know about what's going on? I'm an idiot, but I'm not that much of an idiot.
All right.
Mr.
She's hedging her bets because she told me something I bet she claims she didn't tell you, is that only one of the three of us can get that reset.
Fucking bitches. God. They'll never tell it to you straight.
Literally just told you straight, man, still. Literally.
But I can write down the good parts.
Who the fuck is this?
And you can see that Joy is, holding in her hands a Ford van operator's manual, not a notebook or anything else like that, but with a pen. She's like, I can save your best moments for the next world.
How long does that spell last anyway?
I rolled a 93, so flop 39, so I think it's 12 hours, right? It's the 2 digits added together.
So yeah, you're going to be fake joy. Yeah, you can't fool the old ladies, but you can fool yourself. That's something.
And I may have cast it some time ago, but I've probably got to.
Yeah, you got a while, so you're good.
Listen,
God, and you can't stop it because you don't know how. Yeah, you're trapped. Okay,
Mara,
sweet.
Mara, here's the deal.
All right, guns down.
I decided I wasn't going to get involved in any of this nonsense. None of it. I don't know what Kelly's doing. She asked me to get involved with some horse shit. I don't know what you're doing. I don't even know why I'm in this room. But I decided this is just way outside of anything I need to ever consider. So, Kim, if you can put away the gun, because I'm just starting to get nervous and I'm starting to feel stupid again.
Kim
put away the gun.
All right, she's not putting it away. Like, y'all know it's there now, but it's not pointing at you and it's not on top of the table.
And are you going to stop mean mugging me, Doc?
I want to believe that you're not going to do this terrible thing. And yet, I saw you put a gun to a teenage girl's head in order to extort away a mystical artifact.
Did I get the mystical artifact?
Yeah.
Then it worked. I have a different objective now, jackass.
And yet, you don't seem to have learned any lessons about how to behave appropriately.
Should I have put the gun on the table like Kim? Is that how to behave appropriately, smart guy?
When you're dealing with people who are monsters, perhaps.
All right. Monsters calling monsters, buddy.
There's a way we can fix this, Mansteel.
I'd love to put you against a wall, sir, because I'm not going to get shot by her because the cops are going to come. We're at a fucking Waffle House, genius.
Yeah, at this point, the waitress shows up and she's like, oh, your friends got here. So what are you having, hon?
I'll have anything that doesn't have a gun involved in it.
What, sweetie?
Oh, I'm sorry. Strange turn of a phrase. Coffee?
Coffee for
Butter
you.
in it? It's called bullet coffee.
Okay. Yeah, we can make that.
Great.
Coffee all around. Bring us a bunch of cream and sugar. Do like 3 orders of waffles and we'll sort it out.
All right. Sounds great.
Strawberry milkshake?
You bet, sweetie.
And hash browns with the waffles. The hash browns are super good.
They are good.
All right. So she goes off. All right. So you guys just going to sit there? Yeah. Do you have...
Dr. A.
What?
If this girl is telling the truth and Mansteel and I just write down our happiest feel-good moments, then that makes it impossible for us to take the offer from the other people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
So in no world do I sacrifice a 16-year-old girl, but there is a world where I will happily tell you some happy memory that you can put in your diary.
He holds up the...
Oh, you'd have like a regular
operator's manual ready to write.
You'd have like a normal notebook.
Well, I wasn't certain if I took Joy's notebook. I didn't know if that was a special artifact. So.
Oh, well, no, you have one of Kim's notebooks that she uses to jot down math crap.
Okay.
All right. Let's cut to Kelly and the pursuit.
So I realized after I have driven off in the Windstar that is where we've been stashing the darkness. So they're still in the back. Hey, how you feeling back there?
What is going on? What is happening with you? You seem different. You seem like you're really on fire with some idea, some bright notion.
I am sort of trying to keep things together and moving in one direction, and it's not going terribly well. So I was wondering if You had any mojo? Perhaps it would help me catch a speeding van or find it if we lose it.
No, I've been stabbed. And what do you want in that van? We stole the head from them. What more are you going to steal from those people?
Well, the head is a write-off. All right, fair enough. That's I've been trying to get everyone to vote to cut it up from the very beginning.
It's gone. Didn't you feel it?
I mean, I've noticed a distinct reduction in the amount of supernatural phenomena that's been plaguing us.
Yeah,
so I kind of assumed.
It's just a corporate logo now.
Yeah, so great, perfect. One less occult fuck machine left in this world. We are on the trail of another one. So, Cole's notes, people who might be the Fates want something that might be a 16-year-old girl.
16-year-old.
Else,
all right, so what are you going to do?
It's an evolving situation, okay?
Right. Give me a pursuit roll.
Poor Kelly.
30. And
does that succeed?
Pursuit. Hey, 35.
Okay, so yeah, you've got the metal down. You come around the curve, and there's the van, which does not have terrific pickup.
All right. Well, do I know where it's going?
Yeah. Kim, you got a text. Where should we wait for you?
The museum or the mound.
Okay. So yeah, they're like, okay, we'll drive all night. All right. Anything else going on at the Waffle House, or you guys just gonna eat waffles, glower, and then head for the museum?
Mara is looking at Joy and saying, "Here, write this down."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 2. You can pick whichever one.
No. You have to pick.
The time I saved you from getting killed.
Nice.
I look at Mansteel. Give her a fucking memory.
He puffs up his chest and he's like, I told you I wasn't getting involved, so I'm not getting involved.
As long as you settle the fence, you being on neither side doesn't help anybody. What's your choice, dude?
Chirp. And he gets up and he just walks out.
I look at Kim. Well, I just lost my ride.
Yeah, it's cool. We got you.
I haven't met a lot of people, but he seems strange.
All right. So are you guys just going to get on the road and ball the jack to the museum?
Yeah, I don't want to be too far behind them.
Okay. All right.
Mansteel does whatever Chirp wants to do.
She saw them tear out of there, and she's like, okay, we have to, or actually she's looking at her phone and she's like, you're going to have to drive all night. She's waiting for us at the museum.
Oh.
Sure thing.
All right.
Are we headed back to Canada?
No, it's
the mound.
Okay.
The Ohio Mound. Let me find it. I'm looking at the wrong file. The Ohio Mound Museum and Heritage Site. Yeah, you guys get there at like dawn, and it's a strange place. You guys saw pictures of it on the internet, but they didn't really
Wait
do it
1
justice.
second, Greg. How long from the Waffle House? How many hours has passed since the Waffle House?
Oh, you'll be Karen again by the time you get there.
I've missed Karen.
So are we in the car with Mara and Mansteel when this
Oh
happens?
no, Mansteel and Sheriff
Mansteel's
are
out.
in his.
Just me.
I got it.
All right, so yeah, Mara, you see Joy suddenly turn into Karen, and question whether this means that.
Oh,
Yeah, like I say, did I just waste a freaking wish, or did I do anything?
I mean, look, if it doesn't work, you can redo it in this case, I think. Like, it's either going to have worked, or you'll get to tell Joy again.
Wait, so the real girl that Karen was looking like is in the van?
Yes, we did not bring her in to talk to Mansteel, who put a gun to Clausenet's head. I will cop to that.
Seems wise.
Yeah.
All right, so the van gets there first.
Karen, you did
So-
awesome,
and that's all-
by the way. Not
That's
you
all
was
GMCs,
wonderful.
isn't it? All right. So Kelly pulls in behind them, and even though it's like dawn, the lights are on. And that's because it's a weird hybrid structure. The front of it is actually a 24-hour gas station and convenience store. That was in place before the mound was discovered. And the convenience store's owner owned the land on which the mound was had and fought the eminent domain claim from the state. So what they eventually settled on is that the owner gets to keep the gas station, runs the gift shop concession for the museum. The museum's tiny, and that's like behind the gas station. And then behind that, you've got the archaeological dig. And so it's not that weird that it's open. There are 4 pickup trucks. And inside, when you get there, you see, let's see, how closely do you tail the van?
But me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in fact, once I know where they're going, I'm going to stop a couple of blocks away, turn to the darkness and say, okay, I get it. Stabbed. Things are going to keep happening. Do you want me to leave you here?
Here's just the same as anywhere else. Take me with you. I don't want to be dumped off with no friends in sight. I'm trying to practice non-attachment, but that's a pretty big non-attach.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to see if I can find a Dollarama or a dollar store around.
Okay.
Purchase a pair of scissors, a ruler, and a string, and to just go out into the back alley, measure a piece of string, cut it, and say, you got to give me something. You haven't done a great job of assembling forces.
So, you're trying to summon. No, they don't show up. Doesn't do a thing.
Okay.
All right. So a little while later, you show up at the museum. The darkness is going to wait in the car. They're not feeling great. And inside, you see, it's a strange little tableau. It looks like an Edward Hopper painting. And at the center is this very aged black woman with gray hair and a cigar. And she's talking to the woman you figure must be Joy. And Jesse and Claugenet are off to the right, kind of arms folded, looking suspicious. And lounging about are like 4 other dudes. And 2 of them
was right.
have AR-15 rifles in the classic open carry slung over the shoulder. Oh, and behind the counter, as you get closer, there is a teenage girl sitting on a stool quietly weeping. Approaching, you can hear rock of the 90s blaring out over the PA. So you're just going to walk in there?
Don't have many other cards to play.
All right. And so you come in, and the old woman with the cigar takes a puff and looks over at you, and they're like, oh, so you're another one of the, what's the words I'm looking for? Fortune's fool.
Yeah, I'm feeling like that a lot.
Yeah. So you're here for my daughter? And Joy kind of looks at you and says, are you one of the people with the fate?
Can I be totally honest with you?
Sure.
I don't mean this to be hurtful, but I would dearly like all of this weird shit to just burst into flames all at once. Like, just all of it, from top to bottom. The fates, the head, the surgeons. Yeah, they're just a lot of just fire. Fire. But,
and at this point, you see tattooed hands on, come around the side of a display of corn nuts. And which was the one who talked to you, Young Sorrow or Old Sorrow?
Old Sorrow.
It's the old woman, and she's got her cane and stumps out and is like, and you can have that. Just bring her on over here. We can do it in the bathroom. And Jesse's like, okay, that's going to result in a horrendous beatdown. And one of the guys with the AR-15s, unstraps it and is holding it. And he looks at the black woman who's just like, it kind of gives him the sign to fade back. And she's like, listen, normalcy can be yours. Just bring her to me. We'll do it up. It won't be fun, but you won't remember it afterwards. So it'll be like it never happened. And Joy says, yeah, from her point of view, from mine, it'll be a scar I have to carry forever.
It's funny. It's funny. Like I remember back in high school, I'm taking physics, talking about how no system is perfect and how there's always waste heat. And it feels like with all of this, you don't get waste heat, you get waste suffering. And it just fucking gets everywhere. So.
And the old lady cackles and is like, oh, I like this one. Counter girl, bring my new friend a Slurpee. And the girl behind the counter, kind of wipes her eyes and goes and it's like, do you want that lemon, lime, or watermelon?
Have anything sugar-free?
Yeah, we can make it with the aspartame syrup.
Okay, I'll take the lemon lime with the aspartame. Yeah.
So the machine starts honk. Nickelback comes on the sound system. And Old Sorrow's like, look, Old Sorrow comes over and Jesse is just like, I am about sick of your shit. And he looks over at the guys with the guns and he's like, are you going to let this old woman abuse this young girl? Is this what you're into? And they kind of have this placid look. They look over at the woman with the cigar who's like, nah, they're not going to interfere. This can play out. I'm a little curious. And, the young girl looks at the cigar woman with kind of a look of despair. And Jesse, loosens up his neck and, has the crowbar, swings it as hard as he can at the tattooed old woman who doesn't get out of the way, takes right on the side of the head. and it doesn't leave a mark. She's like, do you feel better now, honey? And he's just kind of twisting it in a frustrated way. And she's like, look, he can't stop you. You have to choose. Choose now.
So wait. I get to choose? I get to choose what happens.
Yup, says the old woman with the cigar. And Joy's like, you can save some beautiful part of your life forever. Not just for the life of this cosmos, but for the life of every cosmos. And Old Sorrow says, oh, yeah, you can preserve some puppies and butterflies for people who might not even be human, but you'll never know because you'll never see them. Or you can take everything that's weird and confusing and disturbing about your life and undo it right now.
I'm going to turn to the woman with the cigar.
Uh-huh.
How much agency do I have in this situation?
And she's like, don't look at me.
Is it a binary choice?
You could always choose not to do either one, but the problem with that is that it leaves you open to changing your mind later on, and the Sorrows are just gonna be on you forever because they nag. And Old Sorrow looks at her and says, well, maybe if you'd visited more than once.
While the Old Sorrow is distracted, I'm going to stab her in the neck with my dollar store scissors.
Okay. Yeah, you just go up and she's like, and she turns to you and she's like, so that's a no then.
It was worth a try.
And Joy's like, just tell me your happiest moment, please. I just want your happiest moment.
You know, when babies are newborns, they don't do much except cry and sleep and shit. And like a couple of weeks in, that stops. All the lights go on upstairs. The first time that my daughter looked at me and saw me was my happiest moment.
She writes that down and has a little tear. And the woman with the cigar just claps. She's like, that was great, honey. And she, points at Old Sorrow. He's like, okay, you can go now. And Old Sorrow's like, but there are others. And the woman with the cigar stands up and kind of stumps over to her and pushes the cigar into her forehead, and now it works. And she screams and flinches and, turns and leaves. And the guys with the guns have raised them and pointed them at her, and the old woman just waves them off. It's like, wow. So what's your name? You're interesting.
I have learned that names have power. So how about if you just call me Scissors? I have scissors. Call me Scissors.
It's good to meet you, Scissors. I'm Apocalypse.
Ah.
So, do you have any interest? You seem to have intuited, you've observed some of the factors about how the universe is constructed. This is the point at which the rest of you pull in. And, actually Mansteel and Chirp get there first. And, Chirp comes in and is like, it is such an honor to finally meet you. And the old woman just waves, is like, I'm talking to Scissors. I'll get to you. And Chirp just looks wounded and shuts up. And she's like, okay, so you've intuited and observed some of what's going on with the rhythm of Cataclysm, right? The universe is destroyed and recreated constantly. And it's not a fast process. But yeah, every time there's pain, you can't build one without incorporating the suffering of the people in it. We always get to build, and we always wind up building some kind of horrendous prison. And
Matrix. The Matrix. That's the Matrix. Oh shit, this is the Matrix.
It's not exactly the Matrix.
Oh
but
no,
okay.
it's not all right. He seems very proud of himself.
The girl comes over and hands you your, sugar-free lemon lime. And the rest of you walk in, and Joy's like, "Oh, she gave me her happiness," and then she sees Mansteel and kind of freezes up. And the woman with the cigar is like, "No, I think we're done." And she looks at Joy and she's like, "I don't know what to tell you, kid. Your role's broken now. I obviously cannot do what I'm supposed to. And the new guy has zero interest in it. So I think you may be off the hook. But at the same time, if you're out of the library, your mom and grandma are going to be dogging you for forever. So I don't know. Either find some kind of weapon that harms, them, or get yourself some kind of protective detail."
I mean, if you do you have any ideas on where we could find a weapon like that? Because I'm very interested.
Well, if you grab the stuff from it sounds like you guys had a run-in with surgical teams. Yeah, those could have done it. Those could have done those gals up a treat. But yeah, there's always stuff. The universe always provides methods by which humans can harm other humans. That's always real deep in the code. And okay, hey, new people, come on in. How you doing? Is there anything I can get you? The hot dogs are pretty bad. The microwave burritos, acceptable.
Yeah,
So-
burrito's great. I beckon Jesse over to get the download. He's usually pretty good for that.
Yeah, Jesse comes over and is like, "Okay, so 4 guys, 4 trucks, 4 AR-15s. The woman with the cigar is in charge and is expecting the head." And Chirp's like, "Yes, this is one of the leaders." And she's, says some weird stuff and makes like this weird handshake with one of the gun guys. And she turns and she's like, "I'm so sorry, but the head was destroyed. A surgical team got it." And the old woman just says, balls. What a drag. And I bet they didn't just stumble on it either. I bet the other guy sicked him on it.
All right. Less of the way the hell over my head stuff.
So Karen is immediately more focused on Closene and crosses over to get into the van. She's trying to drag her daughter. She's wearing, by the way, a judo gi with a black belt tied around it, and is trying to get her daughter out and toward into the van. But she's got her eyes on Mansteel the entire time.
Yeah, that's smart.
And yeah, Closene just goes and she's like, "I don't know who that woman is, but I don't even know how I'm supposed to feel about her. It's like we're all just walk-ons and she's the star. I don't know what's going on with that. The only other person I've seen who has that kind of thing going on is you, and she's got more of it." So yeah, you walk her out, and as you do, you hear this, "Hey," and this window rolls down, and you see the darkness kind of leaning out. "So, are things in there cool? I saw people waving those guns, and I don't know if things are about to, what do they call it, get kinetic? Should I get involved, or should I just try and maintain my sense of equilibrium and tranquility?"
Do I have keys to the van? Probably not. I don't know.
No, but it's unlocked.
Karen's like, I really don't know what the fuck is going on, but that woman is dangerous. Take it from me.
All right. Well, I'll get out my good flute, but I won't start playing it. But, sun's coming up. Can't do much when we're burning daylight,
I'll keep that in mind.
Don't be like this. I already been stabbed. I'm just...
Or darkness.
It's been a bitch of a week. All right. And so opens up a flute case and starts assembling a flute. What's Kim doing? Yeah,
Joy, Mara told other Joy her happiest moment. Did that count? Because that's pretty important.
No. She's still... No, you got to tell me.
All right, Mara, you should go talk to Joy right now.
Please?
All right.
I'm super sorry that you have to do it twice. I really wasn't part of the plan or anything. It just happened that way.
I'll walk in the midst of these guys with the AR-15s and whatnot, and look at her and say, it kind of loses a little bit of the
spontaneity.
I do feel bad.
It's like, we can go back here by the beer cooler. All right.
Mansteel. Oh, sorry. I'll let you guys do it.
Yeah. And so the old woman who introduced herself as Apocalypse is looking at Kelly and looking at Kim and says, all right, the two of you look like you've been pretty hard done by. And I'm sorry that it was my head that got you into all this soup. And it's a real shame that it's gone. But I may be able to offer the two of you something you're interested in. So you've heard the explanation of the cycle of cosmic reincarnation where periodically we destroy and recreate the universe in our own flawed image. And I used to have the responsibility of overseeing that process, but through a series of misadventures, the other guy's in charge now. And I'm thinking now, with the perspective of having watched this process happen and fail to get any kind of better result over and over and over again, what if we could just peacefully wind it down? What if we could just put the cosmos in neutral, let it glide to a stop, and end this constant churning? What if we could, to quote William Burroughs, exterminate all rational thought? I mean, it sounds bad on the surface of it, but we could, in the end, rest. Does this sound like something that would interest you too? Because, the guys here in the Orthodox order, they're great and all, and very loyal, and I appreciate them to, the fullest extent. But they don't have the kind of imagination that some tasks require. I'm a shadow of my old self. I got a fraction of the juice I used to have, but I know a lot. And I think I can make this happen. I think I can end suffering for everybody forever. So I'll put that out there. Scissors, you in?
Listening.
All right. I'm wondering if we have anything else to add to this. Is that a good place to cut it? Sure. It's like, yes. And she looks at Kelly and she's like, let's do it. And she looks at Kim and she's like, let's do it. So is that where we want to end things with?
I am super happy ending it there.
Okay.
This is ongoing, right? Like we're getting together next week.
Sorry, no, we got to end on the cliffhanger. It's gonna be like one of those TV shows where
they never film the next season. You're like, damn it!
Oh God, we're terriers. This is terrible.
I am super hopeful for the future buddy comedy between Mansteel and Kelly, where they share an apartment, they work at the same post office. Chirp is a recurring character. Absolutely.
Kim's got plans for Mansteel. Mansteel is a ticking time bomb from Joy's perspective.
Yeah, Mansteel had his moment of clarity. He was going to finally get to decide something for himself.
Oh, I hope you don't feel cheated on that. Well, Mara could presumably help him. She actually has a therapeutic identity.
Oh, no. Mansteel wants to make sure that he straddles the fence because then the three fates will torture him for eternity. And awesome. if anyone else tries to stop suffering, Mansteel would shoot him in the back of the head.
Okay, so
I gotta say that suffering stuff, like end all suffering, doesn't sound like Mansteel. Man, watch the allegiances shifting moment by moment.
100%, it's real cool.
All right, so so some of the characters I think are on the verge of becoming minions of Old Mother Apocalypse.
Oh.
Mara and Karen doesn't seem like it would be their thing. Kim might jump in, just to keep your friends close but your enemies closer?
Oh man, that's actually not bad. I can see that. But if she does that, she's keeping in touch with Mara.
Okay.
Like Mara earned a lot of points back in the last 24 hours.
I think Mara, with her allegiance to some of the people, would stick with them, but she got a lot off of her shoulders at that the hotel that she stayed at last week, or the night before. So she's an interesting new crossroad she didn't think she'd ever get to again.
Mm.
That was speaking because I played Mara in the last round and Jesse in the round before that. Like your Mara, like that was awesome to watch. That was so good. Like
Thanks.
That was stuff I was trying to figure out how to do, and I couldn't get it to quite click. And you were awesome. Like you were all great to play with.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Well,
and Ray, my compliments. You made Mansteel, like I couldn't take my eyes off him when you were playing him. Oh my God. I was like, oh, this is a human wreckage.
He's so broken. He makes me feel like a complete person.
I would need to take a shower after.
Oh no, I will. 100%.
Well, this is
hi, Mom.
This is why we play horror games, in order to I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
I just like heads exploding.
But thank you very much. I'm so glad all of you were able to make it to this last session. In my mind, you're all winners. But apparently they're going to throw it open to the tender mercies of the internet to vote on who is the overall Unknown Armies champion. But thank you so much for playing. I had a blast. I hope our viewers have enjoyed it as much as I did. And I hope
think we all already won by getting a chance to play this game.
Oh, hell yeah. This was great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was great. Talk to you later.
Peace out.